Welcome back to what is probably my most popular series. This is going to be the long-awaited, brutally honest Lucky Charms review. As shown in my previous video on Lucky Charms, I will not hold back any criticism. And if you guys want me to continue this series, I'll make another brutally honest review if this video hits 2,000 likes. Comment down below what cheat you would like to see next, as well as comment if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video. This is going to follow the format I've done with the other cheats, which is breaking it up into several categories. The categories will be the menu, visuals, rage, legit, misc, and the support system. I will be rating these topics out of 10. First, before we get into it, let's go to the history of Lucky Charms, and there's a lot of it. I do recommend listening to it because it will clear up a lot of misconceptions, as well as there's just a lot of interesting things that most people don't know. Starting off, the cheat technically is up to version 5. The first version never really counted since it was just a cheat me and my friends used for just memes. The first version was made in late 2017. After I abandoned it, my friends were asking me to revive it, and then others said that they would use it as well for the memes, so I was like, why not? I released the first official version, people loved it. It performed pretty decent, and it boosted my channel a ton. And the meme attached to having a cheat with like a fake URL, aka luckycharms.edu, was kind of entertaining.
Welcome to luckycharms.edu, best Pastel Alfredo on the market. This cheat was meant to be a meme cheat for me and my friends, but since the video I posted got so many people wanting it, I might as well release it.
I got quickly tired of the project and abandoned it probably about a month later. After a lot of comments asking me to bring it back due to CSGO updates making the cheat impossible to run, I decided to make a new version. I wanted to make a cheat kind of like Bameware, which was a cheat coded by Bolby. The cheat eventually got leaked and he just quit entirely, but I really liked the visual aspect of it, so I kind of wanted to make something like that. The only problem is, very soon after releasing Lucky Charms V2, the CSGO update that broke fake angles came out. This demotivated me a ton since it was never something I wanted to spend so much time on, so I kind of gave up, and eventually my friend wanted to update it for me, so shouts out to Epic. The cheat again was a decent success, driving my channel up a ton, and this is the first time people really saw me and discovered me. This is also when absolutely no one knew anything about desync, so the cheat really pissed me off trying to continue it. This, on top of people expecting the cheat to outperform Skeet, just led to me abandoning it only a few months into it. It wasn't until early 2020 that my friend offered me a base as a learning project to get back into coding. I won't go into too much depth about V3 and V4 because I've definitely covered a lot of it in other videos, but V3 and V4 are not paced. Lucky Charms is free to the public, that means anybody can use it at any time. There is a $5 version that you can get my configs as well as the legit bot, but that is mainly for donations to help keep the cheat running, not more of a pay-to-cheat aspect. It was mainly just meant to be a free cheat that anybody can use for rage, since not a lot of good rage cheats were out there. Especially because when it was started, no other real pay-to-cheats got cracked, so there was literally no free cheats. But anyways, that is the general history and current information on Lucky Charms. If you have any questions on the history, you can leave a comment, I'll get to as many as I can. Now on to our first category, the menu. To me, the menu is very simple to navigate and made so almost anybody can use it. It was designed with the intent that most people who use this cheat will have never used the CSGO cheat before. So we try to make things as simple as we could and not cluttered. It's got basically everything you need in a menu, but maybe not the most aesthetically pleasing, so I would rate it a solid 7 out of 10. Alright, next up we got the visuals. Personally, I think the visuals are alright. It's got all the features you would need in an HVH cheat with a little bit of extra random stuff, but nothing over the top. Customizing chams can be quite basic from what other cheats might have, but it's good enough for most people. The skin changer is the most lacking part of it all, with no glove changer as well as having to input the skin IDs, since we were too lazy to implement the long list of skins. Overall, there isn't much to say about the visuals besides it being an overall average. It's definitely better than some cheats out there, but there's not much customization to it, as well as it being quite basic. I'm gonna have to rate it a 6.5 out of 10. If I had finished some memes I had been working on as well as implemented the old V3 memes, the score would have been bigger, but for the most part, I saw most people didn't care for the memes and I was too lazy to implement and do so much more if no one really wanted it. Then again, I could be wrong, so if you do enjoy the memes, I wouldn't mind going crazy for a little bit and implement a bunch of cool mini games and all that. Leave a comment if you do want that actually. Now on to the main thing, the rage. I'm going to be reviewing the rage portion through the lens of it being a free cheat, not some big pay-to cheat, as well as ignoring cracked cheats. Lucky Charms does get a lot of unfair comparisons to cheats that are either a full $20 a month, which is $240 a year, and some of these cheats that get cracked literally every year and release a new version right after with the same exact source code with a new menu, maybe 3 new features along with it. But the rage can be a little bit hard to configure sometimes, but still can compete with most cheats as long as you are decent at HVH. If you're kind of sweaty and make a good config and adjust your playstyle to match what the cheat can output, you could possibly top frag and go positive every game. The reason the cheat has such a meh rep when it comes to rage is a few things. For one, most people who use this cheat have never HVH before, so they're really not that good. I've seen countless people repping the Lucky Charms tag going 0 and 15 not understand why they're not shooting back. The other reason is it takes a little bit of time to adjust from a major pay to cheat. I've done it myself where I use a different cheat that costs $20 a month and then use Lucky Charms and do absolutely horrible. But after a few games of adjusting your playstyle, I'm right back into the top of the leaderboard. Now, I will admit the cheat hasn't been updated much and has slacked off a bit in terms of competing with other cheats in an HVH server with like $20 cheats and all that. The exploits are the biggest downside of the cheat. The resolver can be good at some times, but in other times you can't touch people if they have a decent AA. And sometimes you just question life wondering what the hell you just shot. But I still notice that most other cheats have a lot of these problems, and depending on how you can config, you can almost work around any of these issues. But let's be real, there's a lot of issues with Lucky Charms. And if I wasn't so goddamn lazy, maybe I'd fix them. So in all, I'm going to rate it as solid 8 out of 10 in terms of a free cheat standpoint. If I was rating this as a $20 pay to cheat, I would probably rate it at like a 6 out of 10. But again, this is a free cheat and the main intentions were never to compete in that area. Actually, I'm going to retract that statement. I'm going to leave it at a 6 out of 10. This way it stays consistent when I review other cheats. Now for the next section, the legit bot. The legit section is the only real big part of the cheat that is only available to early access, which is the $5 a month subscription, which is mainly meant as a donation service. Early access, or EA, was the only way for this cheat to ever be a thing, as it was a lot more expensive to operate a major cheat than I thought. We had times where we had over 20,000 active users on the cheat, so you can see where it might get expensive. But for the legit section, it's a good price for what you pay. It works decently well for me. I never really had any issues with it besides some bug fixes I still need to fix, which aren't really any major issues. I never heard anyone complain about the legit section, and it seems to be just a cheap alternative to other cheats. It technically was never fully finished, and I never really finished the legit AA section, but technically speaking, you can just create a legit AA through the AA section as it is right now. But it has a decent amount of customization without getting too complex. Almost anyone should be able to make a config for it, and that's why I'm going to be rating it a 7.5 out of 10. I feel like for people starting out, it's not that hard to config compared to other cheats where they might get too confused and have to download a different config. And for the miss section, there's not much to it. It's very basic. You won't find anything in there that you won't find in any other cheat. And because there is no Lua or JavaScript, there's not much you can do to add to it. If I took some of the things from V3, maybe it would be a little bit better, but overall, there's not much to say about it. Because there is no scripting, I'm going to just rate it a 6 out of 10. In the last section, the support system. The support system is Because we don't have a big pay-to-cheat budget, we really don't have the resources to answer everybody's tickets super quickly. There's really not that much staff, and we kind of don't even have a beta team anymore. Sometimes we just don't answer a lot of the tickets because it's the same thing we posted over and over again, and we pinned it in so many different places that it's really easy to figure out why something is not working. But overall, I think I'm going to rate it like a 6 out of 10. I mean, I don't even go on the forums that often, to be honest. I mean, the forums are not that active anymore, so there's no real need for me to keep up with it. Overall, it gets a 6.5 out of 10, which I think is quite fair. It's been very hard to keep up with a free cheat, especially with some of the negative feedback I get from it. But that concludes my brutally honest Lucky Charms review. Again, let me know your feedback as well as what cheat you might want to see next, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.